time for Leadership of the Leaf. Great leaders smoke great cigars. Now, in their fourth season, Austin and Dice are back with more leadership advice and cigar knowledge to share. Grab a cigar and let's put some smoke in the air.
Welcome to another episode of Leadership of the Leaf. My name's Austin.
What's up, Austin? I'm Dice.
What's up, Dice?
Dice, yeah.
Today?
Doing
good.
I can tell you, I am not bitch me.
You're not. Oh, you're not bitch me.
No.
Man, that can fool me.
I was looking at the show notes, and for some reason that word is in the show notes. I don't know how it got there.
Whoever would have put bitch made under Dyson? What's that?
Under who?
Under Dice's name.
Oh. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh. That's not what I heard.
I don't care what you heard. You suck.
Titties.
Woo. All right. Anyways, Dice, what are you smoking on? What are you smoking on before we get into our topic?
I am smoking on La Aurora.
La Aurora. Okay.
107 Nicaragua.
And which Hennessy are you pairing that with?
Yes, right, Hennessy, yes. So it's a super rare blend that I got from the ancient corners of the Cognac region of France. Okay, I'm full of shit. I'm drinking a VS, the cheapest Hennessy on the shelf right now.
Fucking told you.
Right now. I mean, there's like maybe a quarter bottle left, and I'm disciplining myself to not overbuy, but I need to get past that. So,
okay.
Yes, self-discipline. So, Austin,
sir.
Yes,
Dave.
I do believe we are not smoking the same thing this episode.
We are not smoking the same thing.
So, what cigar are you smoking?
Well, I pulled out a cigar out of my humidor, and I kept texting you and asking, hey, let's try to, coordinate this. And
I was ignoring you.
I got fucking cricket. So I was a little bit upset. So I just picked one at random. But I'm smoking the Oliva Series D 135th Anniversario.
Is it?
Baseball.
I was going to say, is that one that's shaped funny, right?
Yeah, it's a little torpedo shape. Do you want to call it that?
Salomon?
Yeah.
Wow. Pyramide?
Nope. Well, no.
Kind of. It's definitely a different shape.
Yeah. So it starts at the foot. It's very narrow, and then towards the cap, it gets wider, thicker. I shouldn't say thicker.
I like the way you say that.
Yeah. And it widens out into a normal gauge cigar. So it's interesting.
Well said, sir. Now, if you could just rattle off the trillion names of whiskey that you're drinking.
It's not a trillion names.
Okay.
But I'll do it for you since you asked so nicely. I'm drinking Polling Station, very small batch, straight wheat whiskey.
Oh my God. That's very straightforward to understand. Small batch, I got it. It's not a lot of it.
Yeah.
Straight wheat. So there's nothing extra, just it's made from wheat.
Yep.
Whiskey.
Yep.
Okay, I can deal with that one.
Yeah, see, not bad. And it's the name of the brand, which is discontinued. And this is my second to last bottle, and I'm sad about it.
Oh, Pobrecita.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Pobrecito. You're a boy.
Okay. All right. Go Menasai?
Spanish, Japanese. I like it. We can do that.
All right. That was the extent of my Japanese.
That was good, though. That was good.
I thought so. All right. Topic for tonight is how to have. Well, I shouldn't say how to have because that's not really. It's not like a step, but like ways to practice and to stretch your EQ.
Yeah. More of a, if you do these things, you have a high EQ.
Yeah, well, and like I said, the steps to help you practice to get to a high EQ. Does that make sense?
Okay. All right.
But what is EQ? Because I'm thinking like equestrian or
it's when you're messing with your stereo and you want more bass than treble.
Equalizer, equality. What are we talking about?
I so hate you. EQ is the equivalent of your measurement of your emotions instead of your actual brain power like IQ. IQ is more of how smart you are, whereas EQ is more about your touchy feelies. Does that make sense? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
just make sure.
Yeah. So EQ is your emotional quotient. IQ would be your intelligence quotient. And so yeah, EQ would refer to your emotional intelligence.
So yeah, you just had to college educate what I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Because we said the same thing.
I know. I was continuing to break it down to make sure that people are like, but what does EQ stand for? I get what it is, but what does it stand for?
Fair enough, sir. Fair enough.
Because it involves the understanding and managing emotions effectively, both in yourself and in others. And it comes to skills like empathy, self-awareness, social skills, self-regulation, all of which contribute to how well individuals can contribute and navigate social complexities, make decisions, achieve personal and professional goals. It all requires, I don't say requires, a high EQ makes those things easier.
I agree with that.
Just like a high IQ makes like book studies easier, like concepts and algebra and calculus, shit like aerodynamics and thermodynamics. I don't know. I'm naming off shit.
Yeah, we can tell. We can tell. IQ measures cognitive abilities, whereas EQ focuses more on emotional, and that social competencies.
Yeah. All right. So I would say let's go through stuff and give ways that you can practice raising your EQ.
You're struggling. You okay? Struggle bus? Huh? You need a drink?
I'm trying.
You know what? I'm gonna help you out. Communication.
Yeah. All right. Oh, it's just they're not steps to do it, right? Because how do you raise your EQ? How do you raise your IQ? You study, right?
Right.
Your EQ is not that same way. You have to be intentional with putting in the work to make sure that you control your emotions and keep your mind disciplined. So it's not, I can't just say do these steps and you'll have a high EQ.
All right.
You will, but it's a skill, like it's a muscle you have to work out.
When I was looking over the notes or whatever, what came to my mind with the things was what you said, but also in the same breath, if you do these things already, like subconsciously, or this just the type of person you are or whatever, you already have that natural EQ. You know how some people are just like, damn, that kid's smart. I don't know where he got it from. Look at his mom, look at his dad. They just get it. Like he has a high Q, right? High IQ.
Look smart.
Yeah. So this is one of those situations where, all right, we're going to go over some things that will help you. They may not help you. I'm pretty confident they will. And if you already do them, because some of them, we're going to go over, you're going to be like, yeah, we do that. I remember that. Yep. I did that the other day.
Yeah.
So I'm very confident this first one you have done before because you're married. Hey, baby, do I look fat in these jeans? Pause.
Never.
Pause.
Never.
Pause. Baby, you look great. Oh, the way those jeans accentuate your... Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
Okay.
Or you could be in a meeting and be like, somebody tells your idea that you're like, man, this is the greatest idea I've ever had in my life. And you present it and they're like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Before you fly off the handle, you should pause before reacting. There's a space. And it's a self-recognized space. However much space you want it to be between stimulus and response. And that's where your emotional mastery lives and breathes. So, when your kid is pissing you off, when your husband or spouse or wife or whatever is pissing you off, or your coworkers or whatever, it's like, right? Somebody could come up. It's the same thing as if I came up to Dice and I punched him in the face.
What? Pause.
Yep. And then he's going to react probably by punching me. He's going to wait and go, wait, is it worth punching Austin back and starting this fight? Or should I just walk away? Or should I do something different to try to de-escalate the situation?
Okay, that was a very bad one to use because we both know Dice is not going to pause.
I know. But
unless I deserved it. Unless I deserved it. Maybe I deserved it. Maybe I popped you with a rag or something. Maybe I deserved it.
Well, that's the thing, right? So when something triggers you, whether it's rude comment, stressful situation, unexpected news, some dickhole cuts you off in traffic, whatever the case is, your first instinct is going to probably be to react impulsively, right? Like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah, I cussed them out of my car like they're sitting right beside me.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
And that's not always a great thing. But like a rude comment in a meeting, you can't just stand up and be like, yeah, fuck you, and like flip the table and storm out. Like that you're in a professional thing. It don't work.
That guy doesn't work anymore.
Exactly, yeah. Like,
Austin, are you interested in stepping up?
Yeah. Woo. That reaction it's come from a place of emotion, right? It's not logic driven. It's an emotional driven response. This guy insulted me. This person insulted me. I'm going to then turn around and insult them back because I feel slighted, right? Whatever the case is.
Yeah.
He punched me in the face, I punch him back. Whatever. But if you give pause just for a few seconds, if you can recognize that a stimulus, an input, does not require, there's no law, there's no rule, nothing that states when somebody insults you, you must immediately respond, otherwise you go to jail, or otherwise you forfeit your life. There's nothing there.
Right.
You can literally just take that in and go, and think about it for a couple seconds. And if you do that, you give your brain time to shift from the emotional center, which is the amygdala, to the rational part of your brain, which is the prefrontal cortex. It's going to allow you to take that and go, okay, he insulted me. Why? Was it a bad idea? Is they having a bad day? If I, like, did they come in disheveled and they had a bad day, so they're taking that on me? Like, what's going on? Versus my boss came in and was like, that's stupid shit I've ever heard. Get the fuck out of my office. And you're like, fuck you motherfucker. I put in like goddamn 6 weeks on this shit. And, before you say that, you could go, boss, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. What? Why do you ask if I'm okay? I just insulted your thing. I understand. I just wondered if you had a bad day or if that's truly how you feel, because, that's not how you normally react. Or if it is how they normally react, you go, okay, well, I appreciate your time, and I'm going to leave now. And just walk out. It gives you that chance to kind of go, I'm not emotional, I can control my emotions, and I can be more logical about this.
Yeah, when you do that small pause, that prefrontal, that's a good word to say, prefrontal cortex, it allows you, there's some things that it allows, right? Some of the things, it regulate your emotions, exactly what we was describing. Rather rather being ruled by your emotions, which I'm very bad at, especially younger me, is like, you know what? Keep that same energy. I'm gonna come on that side of the room. Keep that same energy. Say what you just said again. So I don't pause, regulate my emotion instead of letting my emotion rule what's going to happen next.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like toddlers and kids, I always say, are ruled by their emotions, right? You go up to a toddler, you take their toy away, they're immediately just going to throw a fit.
Yeah.
That's how they're ruled. So you do the same thing as an adult, and you go, oh my God, I can't believe you fucked, blah, 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 blah. Well, you're ruled by your emotions. You're not really any better than a toddler. But however, if you take that pause, you can choose your response intentionally rather than acting automatically or impulsively.
Yeah.
You get to choose that response intentionally, which allows you to consider the consequences of your actions, both immediate and long term, right? Like if you go curse out your boss because they called your plan dumb, and you're like, yeah, fuck you, motherfucker. Well, now guess who doesn't work here, doesn't have a job, and can't pay their mortgage taxes. Like, fuck, I didn't think about that shit. You know, now I gotta go find another job. You can sit there and take a second and go, if I curse out my boss right now, I probably won't have a job, and I got lots of bills, my kids got braces, and that shit's expensive. Okay, I'm just gonna bite my tongue, and that's unfortunate.
You know, which part can I improve upon? Which part of my project was the weakest for you? So I can, I'm also going to go on that, what you was talking about when you take a toy away from a toddler or whatever. Those, I know my kid is older now, but younger kid, I'm like, use your words. We forced her to pause. And now I think it backfired because she's so chill now. But younger, you take that toy away immediately, you take the iPad time away and all that type of stuff. Immediately tears and frustration, and that's not what they want. I fucking hate you, Mom. I fucking hate you, Dad. All right. Okay. Pause. Let's take a minute. Use your words. Don't cry. Don't kick. Don't pout. Don't do any of that. Use your words. Why are you upset right now?
Right.
Is now the time? Is now the right time? It is not. Go brush your teeth. Anyway.
Think about it. Yeah, well, and like, so I saw it was a Facebook reel, so, you know, I'd take it with a grain of salt, right? But this dad was driving in a car with his two daughters in the back seat. The mom was in the passenger seat, and the mom had just got done telling the teenage daughter, no, you can't go to a sleepover. This teenage daughter was like, oh my God, I hate you. And took her sweatshirt, put it over her mom's face, and pulled back against the seat, trying to like suffocate her mom, I guess, because she was so upset about it. And the dad had to like pull over and yank the sweatshirt, and was like, not everything revolves around you. Don't even think about sleepovers ever again. You're done. Like, you have got to sit there and breathe. You have to understand what we're trying to say. And what we're trying to say is, you have school tomorrow, so no, you can't go to a sleepover where you're going to stay up late. Like, you have to empathize with us and understand where we're coming from. And maybe they have, you know, we have our own stresses or our own perspective or whatever the case is. So if you take that pause, it allows you to empathize with others. It also allows you to maintain composure. Which, you know, if you can, you know, everyone wants to be the guy, man, that guy is cool under pressure. Yeah, man, ice in his veins. Right? Like everyone, yeah. But like, you know, there's always that story of Neil Armstrong, right? And he kept like hitting his little buttons to find the perfect landing spot for the moon landing. And Buzz Aldrin's like, hey, we gotta land. We're out of fuel. He's like, no, we're good. We're good. And he just kept and then set it down. And he's like, how did you do? Like, there was a gorge right below us when we ran out of fuel. And he's like, but you were like, you just kept your yeah. I knew we were good. You know, and it earns respect. It earns trust. And your leadership's going to see that. The people you have relationships are going to see that, and then they're going to go, man, that guy or gal or whoever, they have composure. They want, you know, I want to go to them. If I have a high pressure situation that I need somebody to come in and take control of, got it. I know who to go to.
I like to think of that pause, that pause of emotional breathing space. I like to think that's where clarity, strategy, and I'll even say grace. That's where all that kind of like lives. And that one emotional pause, whether it's a 2 seconds or 10 seconds. I mean, I wouldn't do an awkward long pause, but you know, it has to be where that clarity fucking sets in.
Right. Well, so here's the scenario. If the team member delivers another project late, right? Like this is like the third time they've done it, right?
Fucking late again.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Right? No pause. You're just like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Why are you fucking late again? I don't understand. What the fuck is your problem, right? Meanwhile, you don't know what the hell is going on. But
it's a lot of irritation in that, sir.
Yeah. But if I took a pause, like, hey, I noticed you delivered me another project yet again after the deadline. What happened? Let's talk about it, and I want to figure out what is keeping you from delivering your projects to me on time. Is it not time on work? Do you have too much on your plate? Are you going through something in your home life that I need to, take into consideration? Let's have a chat.
Well, I mean, with the pause is that pause creates a constructive conversation. It prevents it from being combative, because if you came at me with a pissy tone or whatever, now I feel like I got to be defensive. It shows that person respect, which opens the door for an honest conversation, honest dialogue between you two, instead of trying to hide the truth. It shows that you're a calm, cool, collective leader, which you've been known to diffuse tension when it's building up. And it gives the other person a chance to own up to their actions rather than becoming very defensive in the situation. I was late again because of fucking Austin.
Yeah, fuck that guy. You know what I want to own, though? Is I want to know what your first third of your cigar is. I want you to own what the first third of your cigar is.
I don't think I appreciate your tone, the way you're talking to me right now. You should have paused before you asked that question.
You need to pause before you respond to me in that fucking tone.
Okay, let me pause.
Bitch.
I'm getting a nuttiness, cedar and nuttiness. There's I don't want to say. Of course, it's a cedar, which is woody, but there's another like woody component there. And I like it. On the retro, of course, it's a Nicaraguan, so there's some pepper.
Yeah. So, apologies for my faces. I retrohaled more than I thought I did. I don't think I have any sinus problems anymore. No. This one is there's like a leather, chocolate, and a little bit of spice on the back end. And those of you who maybe have listened to the show for a while, I'm sure I've said it before, I have smoked Olivas extensively. I bought a box. My first box was an Oliva box, a Series D Bolaño box. With it came like 10 extra Oliva cigars. I got so fucking sick of Oliva cigars, I haven't picked one up in several years. So to pick this up, no.
I'm teasing.
They all, after a while, they all tasted the same. So I say that to say, this to me tastes no different than a regular Oliva Series.
Get the fuck out of here.
As of right now, it tastes no different. Now,
let me pause.
I'm gonna preface. Let me preface.
Okay.
Let me preface. I have not smoked an Oliva Series B in a while, so maybe I'm misremembering. But this taste takes me right back to all those Oliva cigars I tasted before, and it does not. To me, it doesn't stand on its own. I'll put it that way.
Well, I can understand what you're saying about your cigar. I think we should discuss it further once you make it to your second and final third.
I would agree. That was a good thought.
Look at that fucking EQ. Back to our scenarios here. Scenarios, right? That pause before reacting. We are a cigar smoking podcast, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's only fitting the second scenario.
Oh, I see the second scenario. I'm going to let you read it.
All right. You're in a lounge. You're enjoying a cigar with a few regulars, like Austin. One guy known for being opinionated, like Austin, throws a jab about your leadership podcast, saying something like, "Oh, here comes Mr. Leadership again, ready to tell us all how to run our lives with a cigar in his hand." Okay, fuckboy. Right? Asshole. Yeah?
I'm telling you shit, asshole.
Yeah. So instead of having that reaction that I would want, motherfucker, I slap the cigar out your hand and it tastes out your mouth. Keep that same energy when you're sitting over here. Anyway, so that's without the pause.
He's getting all hyped up over his hypothetical scenario.
Yeah, right? Yeah, Mr. Leadership. Okay, I got your Mr. Leadership. Fuck. Okay, so that's without the pause. Now, because I am Mr. Leadership and I have emotional IQ and I'm going to give that pause. So, take that. Instead of reacting, I smile, take a slow drag from my cigar like I normally do. Then I'll say something like, "Sounds like you've been tuning in. I appreciate the feedback."
Yeah. Shows control and confidence with the pause. Turns tension into some subtle humor. Keeps the energy cool without losing respect or dignity, right? Because if you fly off the handle, people are going to be like, "God damn, you can't talk to this guy about anything."
Yeah.
People in the lounge pick up on that. They see who lost their cool. They see who didn't. And you didn't just smoke a cigar. You smoked the moment, right? Like fuck you, motherfucker. Like, nobody wants the guy that's going to come in and start a fight in their lounge. Like, that's not what cigar smoking is about.
Like, that's always confrontational and shit. He always be wanting to fight.
Yeah, like, all I want to do is sit back and fucking, like, we should be able to share our opinions without getting fucking blown up. So, yeah, that's pause. That pause is EQ in action. Another one is you don't always have to be right, Dice.
I may be wrong, but I doubt it.
But you don't always have to be right.
Before we dive into, you don't always need to be right, because I know I'm normally I am. I'm just being straight up. Normally I'm always right. Every step I take is calculated. Did you want to take a pause and come back, or go over a little bit then pause? What do you want to do? What do you want to do, man? What do you want to do, Austin? Come on, man. Come on, we just talked about pause. What do you want to do?
I say let's keep going. We'll take a quick pause here in a second.
All right.
Because I want to talk about how you don't always need to be right. Because, the fact that you don't always have to be right, or you don't need to be right, that's a quiet superpower. Especially in intelligent communication.
You just went to I got my cup. I'm drinking.
Uh-huh.
For the listeners that are coming in or whatever, right? I think we started this around end of season 2, maybe season 3. Whenever the C,
you don't need to be right.
The C word is mentioned, you're supposed to take a drink. It's a drinking game.
It's a fun drinking game with us. All right. So when you feel the need to be, the urge to be right, that's your ego talking. Your ego wants validation. It wants to win. It wants to be like, I was right, you was wrong, fuck you.
Yes.
Right? But when you shift from needing to be right to wanting to be understood, you're moving into a space of emotional maturity, right? Needing to be right often leads to arguments, defensiveness, closed minds, right? Where I'm like, And I have an example for this. And I'll tell you after this. But, if you choose to let go of being right, it can lead to connection, collaboration, and growth. So here's my example real quick. We'll take a break after on the other side of this. So recently I had a communication via email. So there was no tone involved.
Asshole.
Yeah, you're welcome. There's no tone involved, so it's very hard to discern the subtext, right? Like there was no 70% of the conversation was missing, basically. But what I was getting was this person was pressuring me into quickly finishing their project and providing comments so that way they could push it out and be done with it. That's the way I was perceiving it. And I was telling my boss, hey, he works in this other guy works in another department. Telling my boss, I was like, hey, I feel like they keep pushing this. And they, being my boss, said, I don't understand why they are so rushed to get this done. And I took a pause and I said, they may not be. This is how I'm perceiving it based on these factors in this email chain and who they have emailed in this email chain. And the boss lit up and he goes, oh, so they could not be pushing this at all. That's just how your perception is. And I said, 100% correct. I said, I'm not trying to say anything. I'm not. I was like, because I'm missing this through email, so it's hard to get the context. I'm not getting the extras. I'm just getting the basic what words are on the paper and who they emailed. So I'm trying to read through the subclues. And I said, so I could very well be wrong, but my perception is they want this done immediately. He goes, well, let's just ask for clarification. I said, okay, fair enough. And so he asked for clarification. The guy goes, oh, no, I just need it done by the end of the week. Oh, well, shit, I can get that shit done by the end of the week. Okay, we're good. So it shifted from if I was needing to be right, where I was like, no, they were wanting this, da, 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 da. I could have put a lot of undue stress on myself, a lot of undue stress on my boss, a lot of undue stress on the relationship.
Yeah.
Versus, hey, I want to be understood and I want to make sure I have clarity. What is the deadline? What are you looking for? Oh, just by the end of the week. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Where's your line in saying, yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break and then we can come back to some other examples and second thirds, because I want to be right about my second third.
You're not right about something, but we'll find out.
Hey everybody, I'm Tim from Cigars Daily, and you are listening to Leadership of the Leaf.
Don't forget, we need to follow the podcast so we know when new episodes drop.
Welcome back. We just took a break, and while we took that break, Austin belittled me and made me feel bad about myself, but that's okay, because now we're going to talk about our second third. Okay, I'll tell the truth. That did not happen, but what will happen is, Austin, you want to share your second third with us? You want to do that? Come on, do it. That.
The leather and spiciness has taken a little bit more to the forefront. I still get a little undertone of sweetness. I feel like chocolatey sweetness is still there. There's another component that I just cannot quite place. I want to say oak, but I may be wrong.
Well played, sir. Well played. Mine has shifted to kind of like a chocolate, semi-sweet chocolate. I know it seems like I'm asking a question. Let me change that. Mine has shifted to a semi-sweet chocolate. I'm getting that mild black pepper that I got on the retro inhale the first time during the first third, and now it's like actually in the cigar. And that retro, as much as I fucking love it, is red pepper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not like an overpowering, like, oh my God, my nostrils are on fire. But yeah, it's definitely red pepper though.
All right. Let's run through some examples of needing to be right versus needing to be understood. Right? So let's say you're in a disagreement with your partner and they say, "You never listen to what I have to say."
What? I wasn't listening.
Your instinct may be back with proof that I listened yesterday when you talked about work. I always fucking listen. I listened to you for fucking 3 hours while you told me about your boss's fucking haircut. I don't give a shit. That's trying to be right. But if you can let that go, you can take that pause, you can go, listen, it really sounds like you're feeling unheard. Can you help me understand where I missed it? Where do you think that I'm not listening? And if they're like, well, you just responded with, or you were looking at your phone. You're right. I apologize. Can we try it again? You just transformed conflict into connection. I've done this with my wife a bunch. You didn't win the argument, you won the moment. Because I have been scrolling through something and trying to just Google search something, and she comes and she'll sit down, and I'm already like searching on my phone. She can see I'm typing on my phone, and she just starts talking to me, and I have not looked up, and then she gets really mad, and I was like, "What's the matter?" And she goes, "You weren't listening to me." Okay, you're probably 100% correct. Here's what I heard you say. Yeah, did you not feel like I was listening to you because I was looking at my phone? She's like, "Yeah." Okay. Did you see that I was currently Google searching something on my phone when you came and sat down and talked to me? Yes. Okay. Could you, in the future, and I'll try to do better on my side, say, "Hey, could you listen to me for a second?" Or maybe just, "Hey, Austin, blah, 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 blah." So that way I have a chance to lock my phone, put it down, and give you my full attention. Because if you just come down and sit down and talk to me, I don't know if you're talking to me or the kid. And she goes, "Oh, I didn't think about it like that." That's fair. Let's both try to do better on either side. Okay.
Look at you.
And it breaks that whole thing down. So now she's not mad at me. I'm not saying, "Fuck you. I heard what you said. This is what you said. I can do two things at once and multitask." That's no, it cannot. It shows my humility. It builds our trust. De-escalates that tension. I'm not trying to defend myself when I don't feel attacked. Same thing with her. Like, if she's not feeling attacked, she's not going to defend herself. The walls don't go up. And it keeps us focused on the bigger picture, which is the relationship. Not, "I'm right, you're wrong, fuck you."
1 for dice, 0 for you.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
3 for dice, 0 for you. Yeah,
how does those 2 points?
and that rings so true. Like, I'm pretty confident almost every relationship has had that situation, whether it's whatever generation you are, you're playing fucking Tecmo Bowl on your Nintendo, or you're scrolling through Facebook or some shit like that. Like, I was being a male or whatever. Shut up. Being on one part of the relationship where you're already engulfed in whatever you were doing before your significant other came into the room, came into the house, came in the picture, then they sit down and they want to jabber jaw about their day. I get it. We're now connecting. We are a connection. We are a relationship, and this is what we do. But in fairness, I mean, you are rudely interrupting me, but I didn't throw that in your face, right? You just threw in my face that I wasn't listening. I was already doing something else before you came in. So breaking it down, taking that pause, like you said, and breaking that down, it definitely de-escalates the tension in the room. 100%. And any person with an emotional high EQ is going to be able to notice that almost immediately.
Well, and I want to be sure that I say this. It doesn't mean that you never stand your ground. It just means you choose your battle wisely, and you're secure enough to know that proving your point is not always going to get your point across. I can prove that fucking my point is always the best every single day, mathematically, unequivocally. Doesn't mean shit if my team doesn't follow through on my plan because they feel attacked.
Correct.
Doesn't mean dick. I could have the best plan. Doesn't mean shit if it doesn't follow through. So, you know, if you're in a team meeting and someone challenges your strategy, right? Hey, I think we should take a completely different approach. What we're doing isn't working. You could defend your plan. You'd be like, hey, I spent hours on this plan. What are you talking about? This is the best I could come up with, and you're shitting all over it. But if you don't always have to be right, you could go, all right, but unpack that for me. What would your approach look like? What steps in my approach are missing? Like, can we meld the two? Is there what's missing? What did I not account for? Now the room's going to shift. People are going to feel safe to contribute their ideas, not just, well, boss said this, let's go do.
Yeah. When you shift the room like that and make it safe for others to contribute, it turns the critique into more of a collaboration, like what you said. All right, let's unpack yours. Let's see what's going on. And if the person got their stuff together, I don't want to put this in a box, but a lot of times when people talk mad shit like that, they speak up, be like, your idea is shit, we should go with mine. A lot of times those people do not have their shit together. Let's unpack yours. Let's do this. Let's go with your idea, unpack it, and let us all know. And I wasn't going to say 9 times out of 10, but I'll go 7 times out of 10. That person doesn't have a solid game plan already ready to go down the chute. Okay, never mind. We'll just do yours because they don't have shit, right? But you're not trying to do that. Let's go with your idea. I don't have to be right all the time. Yours actually sounds pretty good. Let's do that. So later your team respects that you led with curiosity instead of your ego. I'm the fucking boss. I signed the front of your check. You signed the back of your check, and we're going to do what I say.
Yeah. Oh. Well, and there's also the idea of, okay, you know, hey, my process isn't working. What would your process look like? And if they go, well, I don't know. It's just yours isn't working. Okay, I understand that. You said that. What about my process isn't working? And what would your process look like to correct that deficiency? If they can't articulate that in the moment, my then question goes, and this may be, you know, where my question then goes, okay, are you bitching just to bitch just because you don't like the process, or is there something legitimately wrong? Because we all have those people that just bitch to bitch.
Correct. Absolutely.
Like, okay. I get it. You're not happy with this new process. Totally understand. What would your process look like? I'm happy to look at this. I'm happy to talk about this. But I need to know how this job has to get done. Certain steps in this process have to be checked. That's the rule from on high. So what would your process look like to make sure all those boxes are checked and the process gets done? And 9 times, I agree with you. I want to say 9 times, but 7 times out of 10, they're going to be like, oh, well, I think we should do basically your process, but I would change this one part. Oh, okay. Why are we going to change that one part? What makes that one part so different? What do you see differently than I do? And sometimes the people, you know, then you can talk about it, collaborate, and everything else, and everyone will listen. And you can come back with a brand new rendition.
One of the keys to that approach, which it took me quite some time to really get it out, and I don't really care too much for this word, but it's a fitting word for what I'm describing, is when you do that, when you say, hey, let's unpack it, or what's your idea, all that type to that person, you don't want to come off as snarky. You don't want to come off as arrogant. You want to come off in an even keel, inquisitive even direction. Because if you come off with some kind of like sarcastic tone about it, oh yeah, then what's your fucking idea? Let's unpack that shit. That's gonna kind of like, you know, put up roadblocks to that shit.
Right. Or even if you go, okay, let's unpack it, and then they don't have anything, you go, doesn't sound like you have much of a plan after all.
Yeah.
That's why we're gonna go with mine. Okay, that you just ruined your entire, like, all the trust you built. You just out the window and probably lost a little bit more. So it's you have to sit there and go, okay, well, what would your process look like? Okay, this has to get done really quickly. So let's collaborate. What let's, since you don't have a full process to contribute, you say something doesn't work. I want to find out what is not working. So what part of my process doesn't work, and let's collaborate on that. We can change it here on the fly in the next hour, and we're done.
Yes.
So you just got to watch that tone. Another scenario. You're in a deep conversation about cigars. That has happened. Wrappers, origins, flavor notes, and someone goes, "Man, Nicaraguan cigars are hands down the best. No question. Don't even fucking bring it up." All right. So
what?
You've listened to Leadership of Belief for a while. You've smoked several cigars, and you disagree with that. You just come back and go, listen, Dominican blends are just as complex or better. But you want to correct me? Like, no, I disagree. You're fucking wrong. Nicaraguan's not the best. Dominican is. Instead, lean back, take a big draw, take that pause, and go, that passion you have for Nicaraguans is really incredible. I admire that passion. What's your go-to smoke?
La Aurora 107 Nicaraguan blend. That's my go-to.
That's a great smoke.
Yes.
That is a good smoke. I like that smoke. Have you ever tried this other smoke? Have you ever tried a Sober Mesa?
Cigar Dojo version?
Yeah. The Wagashi? Have you tried Red Bean Lovers?
I love that cigar. Yeah.
Man.
No,
we should get you one and see what you think.
What you just did in that scenario, what just happened is, instead of debating, which is kind of the vibe that it was kind of going, you make that person kind of feel heard. Like, okay, guys, you have the spotlight. Let's hear you out. That makes you kind of the guy everyone wants to listen to. Be like, oh shit, he didn't shit on this guy back. He kind of wants to engage the whole room into this conversation of what this guy has to say. I mean, I didn't have to be right. Of course, I disagree. You probably disagree. Many people probably disagree. You have your favorites. Of course, you're going to be biased towards your favorite, right? But what you just presented was just EQ in a smoke-filled wrapper. You just delivered like some of the best EQ shit in your life, because you totally took control of the scenario. Because obviously the guy speaking up like that, he kind of wanted to debate. Like, you tell me why yours is better than mine, and I'll tell you why mine is better than yours. No, I'm not going to debate that with you. You tell me what's your go-to cigar, and we can all discuss your go-to and how much we like it, and then maybe we can compare some other notes to it, and it brings up the conversation to the whole fucking lounge.
Yeah, we all know that there's people out there that love a good argument.
Yes,
they love an argument, and it's driven by ego. So when you go, you know what? I really like that. I can appreciate that stance. I can appreciate that opinion. I can dig that. I don't agree. I don't necessarily agree with it. Why do you think that's the best? Why Nicaraguan instead of Sumatra, Ecuadorian, Dominican Republic? What? Why? I'm just curious. I'm just curious because there's so many blends out there. You can't just say all Nicaraguans are the best. And Nicaraguan is used in a gajillion different blends. So Are you talking Nicaraguan puros? I'm just curious. What's your go-to smoke? And they rattle something off, and you're like, oh, okay. So you know that has Dominican tobacco in it. And okay. And you're not trying to prove them wrong. You're just going, okay. I was just curious. Did you know? And because I love a good Nicaraguan cigar. Have you tried this Nicaraguan Puro? Man, it's a really good one. I like it, but I think I like this other one better. Hey, person C, what's your go-to smoke? Oh man, I really like fucking Olivas. Oh fuck yeah, man, Olivas are a great cigar. Hey, Person D, what about you? What's your go-to smoke? Oh, man, I really like Gurkha. That's an interesting take, man. I can't get into Gurkhas. I don't know why. What is it about them? I just can't get into them. But that's interesting because Gurkha has a lot of similar flavor profile. You know, you just boom. The entire thing is there, and the person who is looking for an argument, who's looking for somebody to get under their, like he wants to get under their skin, is now just sitting back quietly, almost pissed off, puffing on their cigar because nobody engaged them, right? Letting go of the need to be right is not a weakness. It's a strategic strength. You know, people have to learn leadership isn't about proving you know more. It's about making people feel safe enough to speak. You don't have to be right. You need to be real.
Damn, I may be wrong,
but I doubt it.
That's a very fair point. You don't need to be right. You just need to be real. In all fairness, in this type scenario, let's say it was a cut dry scenario and the guy was completely wrong. Let's remove whatever the cigar topic was. Let's just say he was complete. Gravity doesn't exist. Okay, we know gravity exists, but making the point of the conversation of the room to come up with it, you didn't come up with it. The conversation of the room came up with the same answer that you already knew what the answer was. So it's not like you got everybody to attack this one guy. You got everyone to speak up on their opinion based on the subject that guy brought up. So I'm just being real. Everyone else agrees with what I was thinking. But of course, I don't say that out loud. I'm letting my actions win over my argument.
Yeah. I've heard people like, we don't need gravity. Like if it was never invented, we don't need gravity. And you just kind of go, okay, what makes you say we don't need gravity? Like, why do you think that we don't need it? Well, we don't need it. Okay, how would we move around then in the world?
I would ask the question of who invented gravity?
Yeah, well, I let that part go. But either way. All right, so another thing for high EQ, right? You can own your mistakes. Yeah, I said it. Take responsibility. You own your mistakes.
I'm Heisman Trophying that shit and passing the buck right away.
Nah, it's one of the most powerful trust-building behaviors a leader, or really human, can practice. Hey, man, I fucked up. I didn't even think about that. I'm 100% wrong. Like, I fucked up. I apologize. I led you down the wrong path. Whatever it is. It's not flashy. It's not comfortable. No. But it commands respect. Quietly, steadily, and deeply commands that respect. Because when you come up and you're like, hey guys, I'm sorry. I fucked up. I misheard the boss. I know I said we had 2 weeks to do this. I was wrong. We have a week to do this. I'm sorry. Like, I'll help out with whatever I can. We'll make sure we get this done as a team, and that's my fault. But yeah, owning your mistakes, huge thing for emotional EQ.
You know what happens when you own it like that? When you fucking do stuff like that? One of the things it does is disarms that conflict. It disarms any kind of conflict. When you admit you were wrong, it takes the air out of blame. Because there's so many times, especially when I'm trying to figure out what's the root cause analysis here, I'm not looking to blame. I'm not looking to that yet. This isn't a direct, who stole the stapler. No, we need a stapler. Let's resolve this situation, right? It shifts the energy from defensiveness to dialogue. And people stop bracing for a fight and they start leaning into the conversation. Like, oh, what did happen to the stapler? What's going on? Last time I saw it, Austin had it.
Yeah, maybe some asshole hit it in some ceiling tiles or some shit. I don't know.
Who would do that?
I may or may not have allegedly done that in high school.
You fucking loser.
My teacher was so pissed. I had 6 staplers in the ceiling. She kept going and finding and stealing from other people, and I kept hiding them, and she was so mad. But anyway. I eventually told her. I was a teenager, whatever. But yeah, if you own your mistakes, you're going to model accountability. leadership's not about perfection. It's about owning the imperfect moment and choosing growth. When you're going to say, hey, that one's on me, your team's going to learn that it's safe to take responsibility without fear. You have to take risks in order to win, right? So if you blame and you don't own mistakes, then they're not ever going to take risks. They're always going to play it safe, and you're never going to win with anything, right? You're also going to protect your credibility. Ironically, people are going to trust you more if you admit your mistakes. Why? Because it shows your integrity. If you're honest about what went wrong, they're going to believe you when you say what's going right. Like, hey guys, I'm sorry, I fucked up. I thought we had 2 weeks for this project. We have 1. Let me help you out. Let me, step in. Let me assist you guys. So you guys tell me what you need me to do, and I'll knock it out. We'll get it done as a team, and I'll do better in the future. I'm sorry. And then follow through, right? You have to follow through. Not fucking up again and not making it up. But they're going to be like, oh yeah, you made a mistake one time. Yeah, fuck it. He owned up to it. But now he's saying everything's great and right. Yeah, I don't have no reason to not believe him, because he told us when he was wrong. So why the fuck wouldn't I believe him when it's right?
Yeah. Well, doing stuff like that stops that downward spiral. It prevents the blaming others creates like a toxic like work environment or whatever. Austin's always blaming Dice always blaming Austin. Those two, we just can't work. Owning your mistakes stops that cycle. It stops that cycle like cold in its tracks, and it invites a culture of transparency and improvement. And what I'm liking to that is one of those scenarios where if you admit to a mistake and you're automatically burned or punished or written up every single time, what's going to happen eventually over time is I'm just going to stop telling you. I'm going to just stop owning up to it. And now that could become, depending on your career field or whatever, that could become potentially dangerous. Or it could be very damaging to a company.
Right. And it's just, if the leader doesn't own up to it, you're not going to build that trust, right? Real leaders don't shift the blame; they shoulder it. The ash is going to fall, but what matters is how you handle it. If the ash falls in your lap, you brush it off, right? Everyone wants the ash to go into the ashtray, but every now and then it falls in your lap. What are you going to do? Are you going to freak out and be pissy about it? And fucking go immediately put out your cigar and change your pants, or you're just going to brush off and be like, nah, fuck. All right, whatever. I'm an idiot. Go forth.
Well, I've done it numerous times, and you laughed at me, and that hurt my feelings when you laughed at me.
Well, at least I've never stuck a unlit side of a cigar in my mouth and put the other side.
I told you that in confidence. At least it wasn't like lit. I never put the lit in my mouth.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? You apologize without excuses, and that's really good on you.
Oh my goodness. Moving forward with EQ, right? You want to support without actually like fixing it. You want to, it's almost like teaching your kid how to tie their shoe. You want to support, but you don't want to do it for them because they have to learn, right?
Yeah.
So let's say like a friend or coworker needs to vent, and you ask, do you want advice or just someone to listen? And then whatever answer they give, you honor it. Like, Austin, man, I just need to vent to you real quick or whatever. Please, all I want you to do is just listen. Just hear me out.
Yeah. I've done that with my wife before. She's come up to me and she's done it, and I've tried to fix it. And she just looked at me and she's like, no. I'm like, what? She goes, I don't need you to fix it. I'm just venting. I'm like, oh, my apologies. And let me listen. And then the next time she came up, I remembered. I was like, hey, are you venting, or do you want me to help you fix this? She goes, no, I'm just venting. I know how to fix it. Okay. Yeah, that's really shitty. I can't believe fucking so-and-so did that. They're a piece of shit. Yeah, fuck that guy. Okay. Feel better? Yep. All right, cool. Let me know if you need help. It's one of the most underrated but powerful emotional intelligence moves. It's rooted in empathy, patience, and trust. And the reason it's so powerful is because, and I'll say men are probably the worst at it, but because we fix things, right? We
right,
do,
yeah.
go, do, find, kill,
broken,
make,
yeah.
Yeah, fix it. So being able to sit there and go, hey, do you want me to just listen? It is so hard for me to bite my tongue to just not be like, well, why don't you just call so-and-so and fucking do it this way and that way? And I was like, nope, I can't do that. So I'm like, okay.
Or they say something that's like
that's
really,
terrible.
like, oh, you're so wrong. You're so was in the wrong in this scenario.
Yeah, I can't believe that they would be upset that you cut their hours by 50%. I don't understand how they could think that would be okay. Like, but a lot of people don't want another person to just swoop in and solve their problems. They want to just be seen and heard and supported. Hey, I feel heard. I feel seen. Okay, great. Go fix it now. Like,
yeah.
But there's a fine line between venting and supporting that venting and people who just complain without ever doing anything about it. I don't like people who complain and don't do anything about it. It drives me nuts. It's a pet peeve of mine. When I get the same comment of, I'll just use something. I need to lose weight. I can't believe I just need to lose weight. Cool. What are you doing about that? And I don't need you to fix it. I'm just upset that I can't lose weight. Okay. It's been 4 months and you haven't lost a single pound? Like, what the hell?
It's one of those scenarios when you immediately jump in, like the Captain Save-A-Ho or the fix-it mode kind of guy. Even though we think we have good intentions when we do stuff like that, right? You're sending a message like, you can't handle this without me, apparently. You need me in your life to resolve these situations, or you're too stupid to solve your own problems. All those kind of factors kind of come into play. But when you sit down with them and you like listen and you fully listen and resist the urge to correct or control, you give them something more valuable. You give them the confidence in themselves.
Yeah.
Austin.
Yeah. So I do. Here's what's funny. I do this great with my kid. I am phenomenal. My kid will come up, Dad, I don't understand how to do this, and I'm like, okay, well, I've shown you how to do it, right? Yeah. Okay. So do it exactly how I showed you. I'm here if you need help, but I think you got it, man. I believe in you. Great. And he'll, hey, I did it. I finally did it. Way to go, bud. I'm so proud of you. But when it comes to my wife, she'll do the same thing, and I'm like, I can fix this in 2 seconds. Like, she got mad at me because I tried to solve it. She called me upset about a grade she got in college, and I was like, that's stupid. The story she told me, I was like, that's fucking stupid. I'm gonna call the dean right now and fix this. She's like, no, don't call the fucking dean. And I was like, no, I'll fucking call him right now. Like, we'll get this solved. Like, let's set up a meeting and da-da-da. And I'll be there to support you. And she's like, no, I lied about the whole situation. I didn't turn it on. I'm like, oh, why the fuck do you lie to me? She's like, I didn't want to take the blame for it. And I was like, okay, well, 1, you're in the wrong. 2, now I know that I don't need to sit there and sloop in and solve your problems because you know exactly what the fuck to do. So instead of you should just do this, try something like, man, that really sounds tough. How do you think about handling it? Or instead of, here's what I do, go, yeah, do you want advice or do you just want me to listen? Are you just venting? Man, you're giving them the space to lead their own process. You're still being present, and it's mature leadership and deep emotional awareness.
I mean, there's so many scenarios that you can place in this. A team member comes to you overwhelmed with a project. You don't bulldoze in and take over that project. Instead, you say something like, sounds like you got a lot going on. Well, what part is stressing you the most? Want to talk it through? And you just empower them without disempowering them. So it's like, okay, like you name X, Y, and Z that's on your plate. Okay, so what's your next move? Oh, well, I'm gonna do X and then I'm gonna leave Y for later because of this reason, and Z is this and that. And I'm like, oh, all right.
Sounds like you got a plan.
Well, I'm glad I was here to listen.
Right. Yeah. I've done it when I was going for my master's. I was like, oh my god, I got so much work and blah blah blah. My wife's like, just cut it into small chunks and you'll be done before you know it. I was like, bitch, I fucking know. I'm just fucking stressed because I got a lot of shit coming up. Like, I know exactly how I'm gonna get it done. I'm saying I'm fucking stressed right now. She's, oh, I'm sorry. I tried to solve instead of just listening. Yeah, you did. Okay, my apologies. I'm like, I appreciate it. Boom. De-escalate the whole situation, but I was just like, oh, fuck, I don't need you to tell me how it's done. I need Dice to tell me what his final third is.
I'm not going to tell you my final third. I want to go over one more scenario. One more scenario.
Let's do another scenario. I want to do another time.
We're not quite overtime yet. I want to do a scenario because it's a cigar podcast. Come on.
Let's go for it.
All right. Your buddy, which could be Austin, is ranting about life. Maybe work, maybe family stress. I'm going to resist the urge to drop advice, bombs, and instead, I'm just going to lean back and puff on my cigar and be like, man, that sounds heavy. I'm here if you need me to get more off your chest. I'm willing to listen. We can light up another cigar if you need more time. And that moment, I just created a safe space. I'm not there to be a fixer. I'm not there to be a therapist. I'm just his guy. Austin, I'm just here for you, buddy. I'm here to listen.
I don't believe that for a second.
What? Seriously? Because I'm saying leadership isn't about steering the ship. Okay? Sometimes it's just sitting in the storm with someone like you until the waves are calm. Even if their lighter is out of fluid.
It's not out of fucking fluid. It's windy out here, dick.
But I mean, that scenario weighs true. I'm just... Sometimes, yeah, it is stormy. It is rocky. It's all that above. And sometimes you don't need to take the ship. You don't need to take the wheel of the ship and try to steer into calm waters. Sometimes we just need to sit there, hear me out. And by the time you've done hearing me out, listening to all my drama and BS and stuff, the storm is going to pass. We're in calm waters again. And then we're going to probably, let's be honest, light up another cigar and move on with life.
Yeah, well, more damage can be done by trying to steer a ship through the storm rather than just saying, okay, we're going to go with the flow and I'm just going to steer the ship into the wave and we're going to be good. I'm not going to try to steer the ship through the waves and try to navigate out of it because I have no idea where to go. I'm just going to steer into the waves and we're going to ride this out together. That, it's the same thing as I'm not trying to fix this problem for you. I'm not telling you how to steer through it. I'm just going to sit and listen to you and help you kind of guide yourself into the wave. We're going to sit through it and we'll be good once the storm passes and we'll be in calm waters again and we'll be good.
Either way, I mean, just saying that you're not going to change that relationship, right? Let's say you did try to fix it and you steered away or whatever. You broke a rudder. There's a hole in the hull now, and now the ship is kind of going down and all that stuff. What's going to happen is that person's going to blame you.
Right. You gave me bad advice.
Yeah, now there could be bad blood. You just ruined a friendship over some bullshit because you was trying to fix it instead of trying to listen. So the scenario rings true. This is why I was debating at the beginning when we were saying that steps to build a high EQ or these are situations where I know people have done in everyday situations, and I guarantee you that you've handled stuff with a high EQ, and I guarantee you handle stuff with that. All right, keep that same energy. Come over and say it to my face. Yeah. I know I've done both. 100%. I'm more of the keep that same energy. I'm now a more calm, cool, collective guy. Austin, you should know that by now. and like to try to more resolve situations instead of debate.
Yeah, but it takes the wind out of people's sails, so to speak. If you have high EQ, right? Like I tell my kid, I'm like, the best thing you could do to take out a bully, like, he's 7, right? So he's dealing with bullies. And I'm like, the best thing you can do to take out a bully, like their bravado is either A, agree with them, or B, you just go, interesting take, and walk away. They're not going to know what the fuck to do with themselves. I was like, dude, you don't have to respond back to them. You don't have to do nothing. You just go, interesting. And then walk away, and you don't get mad. They're going to go, well, that wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting a fight. I wanted a fight.
Yeah, get out of my face.
Yeah, you just walk away. They're going to go, well, that guy's not fun to pick on. I'm going to go find somebody who gives me a challenge or more fun to pick on. You go, whatever.
So now that we've done with that, now you want to pick on me? Now you want to do something?
Yeah,
go ahead.
You tell me your final third.
There you go. Yay! I'll gladly talk about my final third, sir.
Will you communicate your final third?
You're an asshole. That's what you did. I saw what you did there. You saw I set my drink down. You saw I set my drink down. You saw that, right?
I can't see anything. I don't know. I know.
This final
like this fucking guy.
my final. Oh, you got the cognac in the back of my. Earthy with some coffeeness and pepperish like cocoa powder. That pepper really, I want to blame it on the Nicaraguan. That pepper is kind of it's not overpowering. I just know it's there, but it's mixed with that cocoa, like a spicy cocoa powder.
Okay, like a hot chocolate.
Yes,
like spicy chocolate.
Spicy, yeah. So now you're going to tell us about your final third and how amazing the cigar turned out to be.
You're gonna be disappointed. I got cedar, black pepper. The sweetness has gone away, but there's cedar, earthy tone with a little bit of black pepper in it. I'm not saying it's a bad cigar at all. I have my judgment already, ready to rock and roll,
ready to go, huh?
Ready to go. But I want to know, is your cigar single, 5-pack, or box worthy?
It's time to answer the question. Is a cigar box worthy, 5-pack, or just 1 or 2?
You're going to disappoint me. I know you are. It's okay. It's okay. We can have differences. That's allowed. For me, this cigar, I had to relight quite a few times. I don't have wind problems, so I don't want to blame that. I have been talking, but I wouldn't say I was talking to the point where it's like, my cigar went out. The construction on has been nice to smoke. The burn line is okay. It's not the sharpest. The flavor profiles are there. I'm gonna go 5-pack.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 5-pack.
Okay. All right. My cigar still continues to remind me of all the other fucking Olivas out there. Still continues to remind me of them. This one to me still does not stand on its own. It's good. Oliva is not bad by any means. Don't take what I'm saying as like, oh my god, I fucking hate this cigar. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if I smoke an Oliva Series G, an Oliva Series B Milanio, and then this cigar, I'm back to back to back. To me, I am hard pressed to find the differences between the three. I can taste the cheaperness of one or the other, but like they have very similar flavor profiles.
Okay.
I would give this a 5-pack. Bordering on single.
So, just gonna say we're gonna say 5-pack though.
I will say 5-pack.
Oh, all right. So you didn't break my little tiny itty bitty heart.
Nope. Part of me is like, just go single, but like, no, it's a good cigar. It has good flavors. It doesn't wow me. Like, I'm just like, okay, okay. I've had better cigar. I could go pick out another cigar out of my humidor right now, and I'd smoke it, and I'd be like, God dang it, this is such a. And maybe I fucked up because this is the second cigar of the night that I smoked. And the first cigar was absolutely box worthy. So maybe I fucked up by doing it that way, but I had a friend who's ranted and raved about this cigar and how good it was, and I'm just left a little disappointed, a little wanting.
Oh, friend, huh?
Well, that's what he calls himself.
Fair enough, my friend. You're entitled to your opinion. Even if it's not absolutely correct, I'm not going to debate with you. I hear your thoughts, and I appreciate you unpacking that for us. Now, it's been a good episode. Emotional EQ, emotional intelligence, or whatever we want to actually call it, is a very powerful tool. It's definitely a strong buzzword for the leadership community, especially nowadays, because it's not all about knowledge. I don't want to take away knowledge is power, and knowing your craft is actually important, but also learning and how to deal with different personalities and people, and how to disarm conflict and debates and have that team all moving forward like a school of fish is also important. So I think this is our second, maybe third episode on EQ. I think it's important.
I would agree. Wholeheartedly, I agree. Until next time, I'm Austin.
All right, Austin, and I'm going to stay dice.
And great leaders smoke great cigars.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to Leadership of the Leaf. The comments and opinions expressed by the host and guests does not reflect the opinions of those that broadcast this show, nor does it reflect any of our affiliates.